Well, let's go back to the parliamentary precinct. It looks like the sun has come out now. Bulelani Phillip is standing by. Bulelani, who are you talking to this morning?
Well, good morning to you, Desiree. As you've said, it's a bright day here in Cape Town. Something that it was not expected because, as you can see behind me, there's a huge structure that is over this platform where the president will take the national salute shortly before he goes into the National Assembly. Of course, that structure is Plan B in case there was any rain that was going to come down today. But of course, as I've said, the day looks quite bright and shiny and the sun is out. So it seems that things are going to go back to Plan A if things stay this way. And of course, there will be a lot of pomp and ceremony before the State of the Nation address by President Cyril Ramaphosa. One of the people that is been coordinating the issues that we'll be seeing and unfolding here is Lieutenant Colonel Zolambi. Good morning to you, sir, and thank you so much for your time. Firstly, the preparations from the South African National Defence Force, when do they start?
Good morning, and thanks for inviting us. The preparations have started a long time ago. However, the final details we conducted them in the past few weeks to prepare for this final day.
Of course, you've been deploying a lot of people over the years and we've never seen any incidents of maybe being out of line. But this time around, take us through the viewers. Who are you deploying, particularly in terms of the troops?
Nothing has changed in terms of the ceremonial participation. You will be having the ceremonial guard, which will be taking a part here in front of the National Assembly with the National Ceremonial Band. And then the fly pass will also proceed as normal. And then you will also have the street lining and the AD camps. So everyone else, the other ones, which will be the escorts, the motorbikes for the president to take him through to the National Assembly. So it will be those entities which we normally deploy for the ceremonial participation.
Now you'll remember that in my intro I did mention that it does look like it's going to be a sunny day today. It must take a lot of resilience from the men who are going to be lining the streets at attention sometimes for long periods of time. What does it take for you to stand that kind of environment?
Our training is preparing us. It's preparing us for these kind of duties where we know under normal circumstances one would not understand how these men and women stand so long, but it is our training that is preparing us.
Before I let you go, I'm sure you've been seeing a lot of social media buzz with Mr. Mabena. Of course, you'd be hoping that nothing in that sense happens to you guys this morning?
Mabena has been trending, but no, we're not expecting any Mabena today.
All right, thank you so much, Lieutenant Colonel Zolambi. He is from the South African National Defence Force. Of course, one of the groups that will be part of the processions that will be leading the president when he makes his way to the National Assembly for that joint sitting of Parliament. Of course, I'm going to ask him to just maybe give us some space as we try and bring into picture the head of protocol from Parliament, Mr. Dumisani Sithole. Thank you so much, sir. A lot of protocol that needs to be observed here. Take us from the history from 1994. Has there been any changes to the protocol that we see year in and year out here?
Thank you. Good morning, listeners. Look, protocol, it's something that we need to do every time, and every time we need to improve. Yes, the way changes, and those changes are necessitated by different circumstances. You will see that, for instance, in today's State of the Nation address, you will see that the salute days will have changed from what people have seen in February, from what people will have seen a year ago.
So just on that, what has changed? We know that there's been a cut down in terms of the budget, which does affect the procession. What has changed this time around?
Remember that we've changed the fact that we don't have junior guards anymore. You don't have eminent persons anymore that will have been lining the streets. We don't have the radio competition that of non-provincial leaders that we used to, or winners that we used to carry all the time. So all those things have been cut out. You don't have all the banners on the street of Cape Town that we coming from all the way from the airport to here. You don't have that anymore. That has reduced substantially our budget to SONA. The POs will have communicated to yourselves and the country how much we've been able to bring the SONA budget to. It's sitting at about 2.2 million, and probably by the time we finish, we'll be able to give an exact figures because all the time we try and do better than the previous SONA.
Of course, we know that the system here in Parliament has been adopted from the Westminster Abbey system. For somebody who doesn't know what that entails, maybe can you just take us through what it means, what does it entail, and the kind of protocols that are involved with that?
Remember that protocol is nothing but the movement of your principals and the manner in which you line up the dignitaries that comes into the fore. So the president is the chief in command of the army, is the one that takes the salute. He's hosted by the presiding officers. So on that dais, you'll see the president, you'll see the presiding officers, and you'll see the army giving that particular salute. Whether that is Westminster, it's something else because they do something different. But that's what we will do. We have VVIPs, former presidents that are going to come. We have former speakers that have been invited by the presiding officers. You've got stalwarts of the country that are invited by the presiding officers. Some of them, we call them what we call front end drops. They will be arriving here in the front. They will be received in the steps by the deputy chairperson of the NCOP and the House chairperson designate. And from there, then the speaker and the chairperson will receive the former presidents, and then they will later receive the deputy president and the president.
I'm sure they must be going through a lot of induction and training before they do this.
We go through practice. You will have seen us yesterday practicing with the army because sometimes people only see the army doing things, but we do it together so that we can understand what they are going to do. They must understand what we are going to do, and they must understand when we say certain things must be done in a particular way, how they will infuse their own responsibilities in that. So it's a cooperative responsibility. We need to liaise with the SAPS on one hand to make sure that the SAPS understand that there are certain things that we are going to do them in a particular way, and when police are deployed in different areas, they need to understand how they are going to handle those particular areas. Yes, so there's different coordination that has to take place, and in terms of the work, we continuously meet with them. As the project leader that Parliament has entrusted me with this particular responsibility, I have to make sure that all the stakeholders understand what Parliament wants and how are they going to fit into what Parliament expects them to perform.
Now, part of the cost-cutting measures that were announced earlier had excluded the inclusion of an imbongi to be part and parcel of the ceremony. Now, that decision has been reconsidered. Now, you've obviously had to reconsider the inclusion of the imbongi at the 11th hour. Does it affect your plans?
Look, we work on a minute-by-minute situation. We had to work on that yesterday. We have sorted it out. This morning, the Imbong is getting accredited. At 10 o'clock, he will be in the National Assembly for a final touch-up of rehearsal, just to make sure that everything goes well, and is going to be taken through the quick induction to say what is it that is going to happen. And at about 11, he'll be meeting with the chairperson of the traditional affairs just to make sure that he understands what he needs to be doing. So we work on minute to minute. I can't say to you after this what is going to happen, but we do make sure that we are there at all times. We worked until very late yesterday. And worked very early this morning. So until the president finishes in the podium, we'll be on our feet until that time.
Before I let you go, are you able to divulge who the Imbongi will be tonight?
The Imbongi will be there. The Imbongi has been secured from the House of Traditional Leaders. The Imbongi has been secured from the Khoisan Council. and those institutions have come to the party even at the last minute. When we went to them and said, please assist Parliament on this particular matter, they came to the party, they pulled all the stops, they made it a point that we get the Imbongi come what may, and we want to thank them for that. So the Imbongi will be there indeed. As to who the Imbongi will be, let's wait and see.
All right, thank you so much, Dumisani Sithole. Of course, he is the head of protocol here in Parliament, giving us an outline of some of the protocol issues involved with this big event, one of the biggest events in the calendar year of Parliament. Of course, the confirmation that we're getting now is that the Imbongi that has been included at the 11th hour for this evening's proceedings will be coming from the Khoisan Council. Of course, at home, you can stay tuned to SABC as we bring you the rolling coverage of this special broadcast. Of course, you can also get in touch with us on our social media platforms. And on that note, Desiree will cross back to you for now and we'll chat to you in a bit.
Thank you so much there to Bulelani Phillip, now National Assembly Speaker.